Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's Source Snack Break. It is Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Got ahead of myself. This month is going fast, but I'm Brittany McLean. I'm the Director of Membership for Source, and I've got Mike here with me. Mike, welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah, so good to have you. I'm excited for what you're going to be sharing today. As everybody's filling in here, I'll just let you know, if you haven't attended one of these before, that you've been muted automatically, but you can join in on the conversation by using the chat on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll be keeping an eye on that. You can test it out now if you want. Let us know where you're tuning in from, what you're snacking on. And if you ask questions along the way, I'll do my best to get Mike's attention and ask those in real time. But if we don't get an opportunity to do that as we are going through the presentation, we'll save some time for questions at the end as well. And also, please use that to let us know if you like what you're seeing and drop any questions or comments our way. You'll also get a copy of this recording and the slides after the presentation wraps today. So that way, if you have to step away or want to share it with a friend, you'll be able to reference that later. So with that, Mike, I'll turn it over to you. I'm excited to see what you've got to show us today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. I love talking about Takeform, and so it's a privilege to have this time with everybody. What I'm going to do today is, even though I'm sure you're super familiar with us and everything we do, I'm just going to refresh your memories of what makes us special and what we do at a high level. And then I'm going to get right down into some of the newer things that we've been up to lately. So without further ado, I will start clicking through some of these slides here. All right, there we go. So a lot of people know us as for interior signage. They think of us as a manufacturer of interior signage. And in fact, we are the largest single provider of interior signage in the United States. And it's what we grew up on, so that reputation is well-deserved. But it's really just a small part of the whole value we bring to a project these days, especially to the design community, right? Because we know right up front that a lot of designers don't have the billable hours in the scope. They don't have the time on a project to fit that in. And so they risk losing control of that design, a very visual element, because it's going to get kicked to the GC. And so what we try to do is make the process easy for them, step in and allow them to control the design and make their project even more awesome. I'll talk about more of that at the very end, but just at a high level, part of the way we make it easy for you and your clients to engage with our products is to do everything one of these projects requires, right? And so that's signage and wayfinding, but it's also environmental graphics. And typically that's manifesting itself in branded environments. Right, a big part of that is, in addition to being this big sign manufacturer, we're also, aside from the global design firms like Gensler or Perkins Will, we are the largest environmental graphic design studio in the country. We're different as a design studio than a lot of other EGD firms in the sense that our studio acts exclusively as a extension of our design partners, right? So we have this really narrow and deep expertise that we provide to the design community so that they don't need to know those things. They don't need to spend extra time. They can tap into our expertise. And again, I'll talk more about that later. But so we have this big design studio that's working under the same roof as our manufacturing and printing facility. We wouldn't be able to do everything if we also weren't installing, and we're installing across the country. So we're doing maybe 400 to 500 projects a week in just about every state. So we have a really unique perspective on what it takes to execute one of these projects really smoothly. Ownership services is something that, is something no one talks about, but in order to get a good result, it's important to have someone that's going to be there after the fact. And so we're doing a lot of things to help make signs not just easier to execute during the project, but for your clients to own after the fact. Because they're going to need somebody inevitably for reorders or other maintenance down the road. So okay, we do everything from start to finish, idea to installation, and you don't have to worry about that. We don't have to do it all either. We're happy to take your fully fleshed out design and move forward too. Okay, so at a high level, that's what we're doing, what we're capable of. What we're doing on the product side is products are a big part of our business, obviously, as a manufacturer. We are, but I don't want you to confuse us with like a sign system company, somebody who's just selling, this boring utilitarian signage that you see everywhere. What we're doing is we're building custom product through standardized manufacturing methods. So that gives you the look and feel of a true custom product. But because we're doing it through standardized manufacturing methods, we're able to engineer these products and test them to understand how they're going to perform when they're in the field. And that allows us to do a lot of things that I'll talk about later. But the other point to that is we're not just building things the way they've been built for the last 50 years. Like most people in our industry, they'll take a spec and they'll put it together, and it's going to be, from a construction standpoint, virtually identical to something they would have made a long time ago. But because we have a big product engineering group who nerds out on the latest materials and manufacturing methods, we're able to put together these really ubiquitous products through really innovative methods. That again allows us to guarantee these products for a long time and understand how they're going to perform in the field. So you get this really beautiful product that is going to allow you to create, a space that speaks in your client's unique voice. But you're also going to get the affordability and the supportability of old school sign system off the shelf product. Signage again is one part of this, but we have a suite of products that are designed to work together. Again, when we're talking about these projects, it's typically, yes, signage is required by law. We know that's there. But also, there's usually your reception desk logo, your big lobby logo. There's wall covering, conveying brand into the space. There's glass everywhere, so you have window film. A lot of cities require window film just from a safety standpoint to be there. So we can do really amazing custom graphic work for the walls, for the windows, for reception logo, and we can make them all tie together so they fit really nicely, and you get consistent color and quality throughout the project. These products that are on the screen, these categories, these are our standard product categories, but we have a whole other set of capabilities that are outside of our standard products. These are some of the more wild elements that you get, sculptural things or things hanging from the ceiling that are spelling out words. Floor graphics, all kinds of stuff. We love those projects too, but those are kind of another part of our business. So, okay, what I want to do is, now that I've kind of set the stage for all the services we can provide in terms of being a turnkey solution and all the synergistic product categories we have, I'm going to dig into these categories and tell you what's new in terms of the products that we're bringing to market. Awesome. One of the, I guess before I get there though, I want to just re-emphasize, because I think people are wondering, interior signage is still here. And again, this idea of custom product through standardized manufacturing methods is important. We have a few of these manufacturing methods that there's a lot more information about on our website, but we're really using these, if you want to tie into the interior finishes of a space, we have a platform that can do that. Any shape or size, or finish, we're working with. If you're trying to bring graphics into a space, we have, through the signage, we have a platform that does that. Or if you're looking for something super minimal, we can do that too. And I think that's the thing, is understanding whatever your design vision is, we can accomplish it through one of our sign platforms. This is an example of actually a combination of what we'd call fusion or vivid. So we have some graphic elements, we have some material elements in the back. Provides the functionality of changing out the person's name, and also is going to comply with the ADA. And this is the minimal. This is the Lucid platform, where you can see it's just your clear acrylic with a really nicely done hardware system that we've engineered ourselves. The amount of combinations that you can put together through those really simple just tiles and rail systems is really amazing. But what we're really excited about this year are the different ways we can bring brand into the space, and the different printing methods different printing materials that we're using to bring brand into the space. First one is a product called Oomph. this is an acoustic material, like a PET material, that for years we've wanted to print on PET, but we haven't been comfortable with the quality that you're able to get by printing on PET. And so over the last year, we've developed a new, not just new material, but new method of printing on that material that gives us more consistent color in terms of color across the panel, a consistent lay of color, so you're getting the same kind of thicknesses, but also maximizing adherence, because a lot of the ways that people have been printing on PET doesn't give you if you get a great looking graphic, it's not going to be very durable or hold up well. So what we've been able to do is, by engineering a surface that optimizes for all those things, but also testing different ink types, and using a type of UV resistant ink, we're able to give you the crispest, most crisp, this really nuanced, vivid print on PET, while also giving you the most durable. Because the way we're printing on these things, the ink is, once it lays on there, it's wet and we're curing it, the ink is locking itself around the fibers of the panel itself. Cool. So that way, that ink, when it cures, you don't lose the cool architectural feel of the panel. You still get that nice texture of it. A lot of different ways people have printed on it obscures that nice texture, but also because it's locked around those fibers, it also is a lot more durable. So you can clean these things for forever, and you're going to retain that same quality of print on there. It's not going to rub off. That's awesome. And so as a result, it's something that we're going really hard on right now is this printed PET. You get the great advantages of graphics in the space, with also that functional element there.
I see you say 24 colorways. Is that just in the PET and then the ink is separate, or are they mix and match?
Yeah, that's just the material that we're going on to. So the print is kind of any style print. Like we have some standard print patterns. And on our website, we have a designer that allows you to try different ink colors with different material substrates and different patterns. So this is one pattern that's just a standard pattern. Here, we're also doing custom prints. So whether it's a photograph or a design or some kind of illustration, we're printing all of these on panels. So custom print, there's standard prints. And we also have this kind of cut pattern where there's standard cut patterns on the design tool that's on our website as well, takeform.net. And that just adds a little bit of visual interest and helps somewhat with the acoustic reduction.
We had
kind
of going back to the first section on the custom signage. Do you have an average lead time? Sarah's curious if you could talk a little bit about the lead time there.
Yes. So for any interior product, we have lead times are now 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay.
On them. So they're typically 3 to 4. Because of the world right now, they're out to 4 to 6, but not as bad as some furniture these days. So 4 to 6 weeks.
Perfect. Thank you.
So the other thing, so in addition to the acoustic panels that we're printing on, we also are printing on your more traditional, what people think of as wall covering, right? But it's not just, everyone with a printer in a garage is printing your self-adhesive vinyl. The big difference with us is that we are a print development technology partner with AGFA. It's one of the largest print technology companies on the planet. So what that means is that we're always at the cutting edge of print quality and print techniques. And so we're able to produce, I think our printers are still one of only 2 in North America. And so the print quality that we're able to generate is second to none, literally to anybody in the country. But also that self-adhesive vinyl is not right for every situation. It's also, so we're doing lots of different material options, and our designers on staff can make recommendations based on what's going on in the space to get you the best outcome. Whether it requires a really hardcore cleanability or aesthetics is a bigger emphasis, then we can do that too. But so there's some examples of some of this. This is a cool material. We call it form, where it's heat applied, so it almost looks like a mural. You see the way it sucks into those cracks and the texture, but that's actually a wall covering with some heat applied to it.
That's really cool. It definitely looks like it was painted on there.
Yeah, and then for cafeteria spaces like this, there are materials that are far more durable and coated with a protective layer. Then window film is also a big part of this product category. So here you see a couple different, window film on the front of the glass and on the back. It's colored in one hand, and then just a little bit of transparency on the other. All right, so the last piece of the last material that we're using to bring graphics into space is our graphic panel system, Moxie. And this is a version, it's an aluminum composite panel material, but it's a material that we've developed ourselves. So it's Class A fire rated. We're direct printing to it, not laminating to it like a lot of folks do, and that's subject to a lot of problems. But then we developed a protective coating from garage floor coatings that provides us a really crisp image, but also makes it super hard and really durable. But you see how this can be tiled. This is a hospital where they tiled it around the elevators, where it needs to be a little more durable than your soft wall covering. We're cutting it any shape too. It's great for healthcare situations where it needs to be really cleanable, really durable. It's not going to harbor any bacteria.
Cool.
And then this is an interpretive graphics piece here. So it's very versatile. And we also are doing a lot of artwork programs using this material, especially in places like healthcare and higher ed.
That's really cool.
And then there's just some other images here. I see that I'm getting done on time, so I'm going to zip it. But I think like in a lot of these, you see dimensional elements on top of the wall covering. Like in this here, this is a laminate panel that we've direct printed on and then applied the letters on top. So there's a lot of versatility to these things, like on glass with the window film and your lobby logo. But so I'll stop here, and I've gotten through the important stuff. And if there are any questions, or if you want to talk about anything else.
Yeah, can you in this image here, that wrap that's on the corner, is that also something that you all did? That corner piece?
That is, yeah. That's that Moxie graphic panel system. So yes, obviously the wall covering, the logo, the freestanding unit here, and then all the signage in space is ours too. It's different product categories working together to give you a better design result.
Cool. And I think I saw too, you guys also have some new accessories. Can you talk about those? Or I don't know if you have any slides in on those.
We have, so one of the things that we did during the pandemic, we've been doing sanitizer stations and different wall-mounted units for years. It provided us an opportunity to kind of really build that platform up. And so there are a lot of direct print and custom units that are freestanding wall mount, but they give you more flexibility and are of better quality than anything else on the market while still being really cost competitive. But it's just another way to tie that in, because a lot of times you put those in your space and they just stand out like a sore thumb. Yes. Yeah. It's nice to have something that's going to tie into the rest of the look and feel of your space.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there any trends that you've seen? I mean, obviously we're seeing stickers on the floors everywhere we go, but any other trends that have kind of emerged in like wayfinding that, have been of interest to you, or that you're seeing a lot of people doing, or maybe wish you more places were doing that?
Well, it's funny how the conversation has shifted from, for a long time it was, how do I make the space safer in terms of like health concerns? And now that people are trying to get employees back to the office, it's turned to, how do I make my space more engaging to be in? And it just so happens that our product categories are some of the most cost-effective ways to create more engaging spaces. Because I think when you're an employer, from an employer standpoint, you have less time with your employees in the office. And so establishing that connection is going to reduce turnover and align people with your values and your mission. Thinking about your built environment as a communication medium, other than to communicate those things, aligning people with your mission, your values. I like to ask people, or to talk about, like, when you were a kid, you'd put posters up in your room, like when someone walked into your room, what would they would immediately know so much about you.
Yep.
I think environmental graphics are just like a more sophisticated version of that. And I think now companies are starting to realize, like, oh yeah, if I'm going to get people moving in the right direction or the same direction, I need to do these things. And again, it's so cost effective that in terms of other modifications that that's the biggest trend we see.
Cool. Yeah, that can definitely make a huge impact. We did get a question that came in, and if you all have any other ones, please feel free to drop them in. Sarah wants to know if you could talk about if the various products are easy to clean. I know you mentioned, some of them have special coatings, but could you talk a little bit more about, some of the more popular products and how those are cleaned? And
yeah, that's a great question. So healthcare is a huge category for us. It always has been. So everything, when we develop a product, we are developing it to stand up to the healthcare environments, right? So some of the most dynamic, brutal environments, especially from a cleanability standpoint. So we test everything so that, everything's bleach cleanable, but we also test it against 15 or 20 other common cleaning chemicals.
Cool.
And so even with the things like the printed PET, the oomph product, there's so many nice products that you can just spray on and let dry. Same with the signage. To not just about every piece of signage we have will stand up to any kind of cleaning chemical that you have. I can't think of any product that we have right now that's not going to fall into that category. Because again, if we can't sell to healthcare, then we don't do it.
Awesome. Great. Hopefully, Sarah, that answered your question. And if not, we'll be sending out Mike's contact information along with the slides afterwards so you guys can connect.
Yeah, we have a lot of cleanability information on the website too.
Oh, perfect. Great. And she said it does. Let's see. We've got one more question that came in. It says, can you speak to the process of starting a project with Takeform? Kind of what would happen next?
Thank you for that segue. So again, we want to do the work for you. We don't want you to do anything except for send us some floor plans, give us a little design direction, even if it's just, we like blue, just floor plans and a little design direction. And we'll take that and we'll come back with a code compliant location plan where we're locating everything required by code. We're going to bring back design concepts. Like you see here, whether it's signage and here's some film and here's that branded wall that we looked at before. So, and obviously budgets and timelines too. So all we need to get a project started is, send me some floor plans, send me some design direction, and then in 3 to 5 days, we'll come back with design concepts, your location plan, and pricing.
Love that. That's awesome. So great. And I love that, I think that's nice that you guys can really take on a lot of that legwork and, designers can be as involved as they want, it sounds like, but that you guys also have a team of people who can really help be creative and come up with ideas and be an extension of that project team.
Totally. And I should mention too that we do that's free of charge. There's no commitment there. There's just if we can't come up with something you like, no problem. No commitment.
Perfect. I love that. Well, it doesn't look like we've got any other questions that have come in, but Mike, I love this. It's exciting. And we definitely will have to do this again soon. And I hope you have a great rest of your afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us. And we'll be back again next week, the same time. So have a happy rest of your day. Thanks all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.